Welcome to the 2021 Youth for Youth iSummit hosted by LookUp Live. My name is Shruti Kumar, and I will be leading this morning's Mindful Moments session. Before we start, I invite you to take a minute to get comfortable, create a space for yourself that allows you to turn inwards, to relax, to sit back and really engage with the mindfulness practice that we'll be going through today. I encourage you to find a comfortable position, maybe a quiet room where you are undisturbed by any distractions or noises, just because that will help you engage more deeply with the practice that we'll be doing today. Before we get started, I'd like to tell you a little bit more about myself, the work that I do, and what brings me here to this LookUp conference. Today's mindfulness lesson is also going to be related to the work that I do. We will be practicing stress bubble visualization, which is a technique in which you can increase your awareness and recognize the things in your life that may be stressing you out, and then one by one try to mentally release them from affecting your current mental state. And so it'll be a guided meditation. It'll take you through the process of recognizing what's on your mind right now and what really might be affecting you negatively, and then slowly being able to let those things go one by one and create a mental space for yourself that can be void of all of these stressors. So yeah, before we get into the mindfulness session, I'd love to tell you a little bit more about myself, the work that I do, and what brings me here. And so my name is Shruti Kumar. I'm a sophomore at Harvard University, and I'm originally from Omaha, Nebraska. And so when I was little, my parents put me in a yoga class. And as I was growing up, it was really just a fun thing that I was doing. But then as I got into middle school and high school, I started kind of realizing the social stress, the academic anxieties, test anxieties, peer pressure, all of the things that make up the modern high school experience. And so for me, my natural coping mechanism was to turn towards something that I knew best, which was meditation, and as well as yoga. And so for me, that's what drew me in. And it really, really helped me to be able to create a space for myself, a mental space for myself, where I felt grounded and where I felt comfortable in dealing with these stressors in my day-to-day life. And so I became more and more interested in yoga and the benefits of mindfulness and the benefits of meditation for the student experience and how it could help me be successful in other parts of my life. And so I had this urge to learn more about yoga. And so the summer after my freshman year of high school, I traveled to India and completed my 200-hour teacher's training certification. And so it was the best 2 weeks of my entire life. I learned so much from that experience, from the heart of yoga and what meditation and mindfulness is supposed to help you do. And then also how that translates to the student experience, how that can help you succeed in the classroom, help you succeed in your performances or in your games. I was really interested in what, yoga and meditation mindfulness could do for students in holistically. And so when I came back from my teacher's training, I was really passionate about sharing what I had learned with my peers. I wanted, the students in the hallways that were complaining about being exhausted and being tired and stressed all the time to have a tool to be able to deal with that. And so I sat down with my administrators and talked about how we could introduce a program for students to learn mindfulness techniques. And that was kind of the start of my current organization called GoYogi. We're a 501c4 nonprofit organization, and we work on introducing proactive and preventative approaches to student mental health in the form of mindfulness-based mental health resources. And so what kind of motivates all of this is the current state of mental health, especially for students, is largely schools have the capacity to either refer students to external professional therapists or medication. However, these current solutions are not necessarily accessible to all populations, especially low-income communities who may not be able to afford a therapist or medication. And more broadly, students that are not experiencing clinically diagnosed mental health issues still experience the day-to-day stressors and anxieties that come with being a student. And so I wanted to kind of craft a way that would help students access mental health resources that were more preventative and proactive, that had the goal of building resiliency and mental strength to be able to have the tools that would help you take on any kind of challenges that might arise in the future. And so these practices are tools that you can use to help you deal with any kind of stressors or anxieties that might come up in your future. I highly encourage you, if you need more professional help, to reach out to therapists to get the medication and get the help that you need. But in the meantime, mindfulness meditation can be an incredible tool for anyone to have in their toolkit, not just those that are struggling with mental health issues. And so I worked with my schools to come up with the GoYogi program, which is an audio lesson program that is implemented directly into the school's curriculum. And so how it runs right now is we are operating at a school in Nebraska called Marion High School, where I went to high school, and they're now on their 5th year of the program. A school in India for low-income students called Udavam Karangal, translates to helping hands. It's also implemented at kind of their partner college called Jeevan Community College. And so the audio lesson program in India has actually been translated to the local language that students speak there in order for the mindfulness lessons to be more applicable to that international setting. And so in addition to that, we also have programs at Alzheimer's care centers, elementary schools, middle schools. We have a student board program with students across the country and internationally who are working with us to advance the student mental health movement and to advocate for, institution-based mental health resources. So the biggest thing that we kind of learned from that we are learning in implementing GoYogi is that students love to see the fact that their administration cares about their mental health. And I think that's the biggest thing that, we like to do, is to bring these mental health resources from your teachers being involved in the process, your administrators being involved in the process of giving you the tools that you need to build resiliency in your mental health. And so, a little bit more about GoYogi is that we not only do in-school programming with the audio lesson program, but we also do policy work as well as peer-based initiatives. And so our policy advocacy has largely been in Nebraska. We've worked with the Nebraska State Legislature as well as the Nebraska School Board Association on developing mindfulness policy that would help bring legislation surrounding this space of mindfulness education directly into schools and school districts. And so that is an ongoing project of ours, and we're working on kind of expanding that policy conversation outside of Nebraska. In addition to that, this peer-based program is essentially a fellowship that we're newly launching this semester, where students across the country can get involved with us and create an audio lesson of their own that will be compiled into our GoYogi audio lesson library. And you as students can create an audio lesson surrounding something that you're passionate about, that you want to speak about, and that you want other students across the country to be able to benefit from. And so if you're interested in this fellowship, I highly encourage you to get involved. At the LookUp Live conference platform, you can visit the exhibitor booth where you can check out GoYogi's booth to get more information on my personal contact information, GoYogi's website, which you can find at www.go-yogi.org. You can also follow us on social media on Instagram at go_yogi. And at the exhibitor booth, you can fill out the giveaway form, which is essentially like an interest form where you can fill out your information, and we can be in touch regarding the fellowship, the policy advocacy, or any other area of student mental health that you'd like to get involved in regarding GoYogi. We really operate at the center of mental health care, policy, and education. And so we really like to combine those 3 fields of study into a holistic approach to address student mental health needs. Today's audio lesson will be stress bubble visualization, which is a technique that will help you bring awareness to the things that might be stressing you out right now. Especially during the COVID pandemic, a lot of students, encountered a variety of different stressors that come up living at home. Maybe the living situation itself might create some stressors that add on to the academic stress and social stress that might happen as a result of the pandemic. And so stress bubble visualization gives you an opportunity to kind of recognize, think through, and operate based on, what stresses you've identified, and then be able to try to release that from your mental state. And so without further ado, I'd love to get into this mindfulness lesson. I encourage you to find a comfortable position, a seated position, a quiet space where you can really tune into this practice. And I encourage you to have an open mind as you're approaching this practice.
Welcome to the GoYogi program. Today we are going to learn a technique that will help with stress relief. Sometimes you don't even realize you are stressed because you have become so accustomed to it. But this technique will help your mind feel lighter and yourself feel stress-free. This technique is called stress bubble visualization. So let's begin. Please sit comfortably in your seats. Keep your back upright and relax your muscles. Deeply breathe in and exhale, letting your body become relaxed. Gently close your eyes. Take this next minute to just be with your mind and among your own thoughts. After that, we will start our stress bubble visualization. Now, I want you to visualize 4 to 5 medium-sized bubbles in front of you. Take into account all 5 senses and vividly form these bubbles in your mind. I want you to think about what is stressing you out and place that word, person, or object inside that bubble. Take a minute to think about these stress factors and visualize them inside the bubble. Now that we have them in the bubble, I want you to take the deepest breath in. Inhale largely and slowly and gently exhale through your mouth, imagining that you're blowing the bubble away. Inhale one more time, and when you exhale through your mouth, blow that bubble far away from you. That bubble doesn't need to cause you stress right now, because you will get to that when the time comes. Feel your body having one less thing to worry about. Inhale and exhale through your mouth, imagining that bubble floating away. Now moving on to the next bubble. Inhale deeply and exhale through your mouth, pushing the next stress bubble away. Rid yourself of these unnecessary stresses when you breathe out. Strongly visualize these bubbles with all 5 senses and use your breathing to control these stress factors. Inhale deeply and exhale, watching that bubble float away with your breathing. Take the next minute to repeat this process for the rest of your stress bubbles. When you have blown all the bubbles away from you, let your body and mind feel light and free. After you've blown these bubbles away, sit in meditation and focus on what is left in your mind. Silence. If you have trouble focusing, try to observe your breathing. Understand that stress is created by you, and by going into the mental thought process, you can also destroy it. Take a deep breath. Inhale and exhale. Slowly and gently open your eyes.
Take a deep breath, inhale and exhale. Thank you so much for joining me today for this mindful moment this morning. I hope you learned a lot. I hope it was beneficial. I hope that the stress bubble visualization is a technique that you will be able to use in other parts of your life and moving forward in your academic life as students or as educators. And so, yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. Enjoy the rest of the conference. And as always, please reach out if you have any questions, feedback, or would like to get involved. I'm more than happy and very excited about talking about student mental health, as well as mental health surrounding digital technology. And so, yeah, thank you so much to LookUp Live for the opportunity to host this mindfulness session. I hope it was beneficial, and I look forward to connecting with you all. Enjoy the rest of the conference. Bye.